Hello, everyone. This is Dude Get In. My name is Pig. I'm here with my co host, Paralurks.
Hello, it's me, Paralurks.
And for this month, I recommended Para play through Halo 1 Combat Evolved.
Yeah, it was one that I missed not being an Xbox kid in my childhood and never going back having missed the hype, I never went back to check out Master Chief Collection. So it's a surprisingly old but new experience for me.
Now, before I continue, I'd like to very briefly talk about my experience with Halo.
Go for it.
The very first Halo game that I played was Halo 4 on the Xbox 360, like right before Xbox One came out.
But Pig, I've heard that Halo 4 is one of the bad ones.
Oh, it's awful. It is
Oh, that's
genuinely
good.
it's a genuinely terrible game, Halo 4. But
Wow.
I did not get a like my initial experience from it because like at the time I didn't know what Halo was really. So when I was playing Halo 4, it's mostly just this is kind of bland and boring. So
Hmm.
I didn't even finish
This
the
is what people
game.
have been so hype about? Jeez.
So I didn't even finish the game. Many years later, through our mutual friend Raven, I finally
Hmm.
played the original trilogy of games.
Ah,
Uh,
I see.
which those first three games, wow, they are quite excellent. The two that came after also quite excellent. And if anything past that period, I would say skip and just stick with those first five games. But
Cool. So the good ones are one, two, three, and Reach.
one, two,
Or
three, ODST and Reach.
right. I keep forgetting that ODST is a separate thing that exists.
Yeah, it's. I do not believe it was an Xbox Arcade thing. I think it was its own full ass game.
Hmm.
But first of all, Pear, what's your first impression of Halo? Like before you played the game.
Before I played the game, it was there was a couple of them. There was because I played a lot of Call of Duty in high school. That was when I first got into first-person shooters, which had the I learned that Halo was the start of the two-gun limit system that every seventh gen shooter had copied. I learned that Halo was kind of the origin point of that type of mechanic getting big in shooters, and I was like, huh, that's neat. But in my head, it was like I focused more on the multiplayer than the single player because you play the campaign once, maybe twice, and then the rest of the time is online. So that's kind of what I assumed Halo was like, but it's the Xbox exclusive one with a really iconic character and probably some cool sci-fi stuff. I don't know. The armor looks kind of neat. Cortana seems hot, as I recall the like Halo 3 and 4 and I think 5 ads. I probably saw some character art around, but that's really all I thought of Halo for years is, oh, it's that game that's probably pretty cool on that other console I don't have. I think I got to touch part of a level of Halo 2 once as a kid when like my sister's friend brought an Xbox over or something. But that was pretty much it until about 4 years ago. I forget how I acquired the Master Chief Collection, but I acquired it, probably gifted by someone, and I played the first, I want to say, two missions with Funshine, our friend of the show, lovable guy, Mr. Happy Funshine. He played the first two missions, went, yeah, that's pretty neat, and then I didn't touch it again because it didn't grab me. Um, like it would grab so many people because shooters simply aren't my genre anymore. They're not the thing that pulls me in as much as other games. But now that you and I are experiencing media out of obligation to one another, now I've experienced the entirety of Halo 1. Pretty solid game,
Yeah.
but also quite a flawed one.
Oh, definitely. First, just as a game, from your history of taking a handful of game design classes.
Oh yeah, my lore of games. Technically not classes. It's mostly self-taught. Well, yeah, I guess they were courses, but they were not on design in particular. They were mostly on like the mechanical aspect of using the software and how to do so in order to make games. Design is something I mostly taught myself through a variety of resources and practice, of course. But from a game design standpoint, I can see a lot of like there's a lot of really smart stuff going on, especially in the first half of the game, with pacing and weapons. Because one of the things that I'd heard other people say before, but you really realize it once you've played through the entirety of Halo in general, is before that, it wasn't really a solidified, consistent thing to just have a limited number of just a couple weapons at any given time and have to swap them out in order to, still have ammo or to get a different gun. Being able to design levels where you pick where the weapon spawns are and what enemies might drop other weapons and where they are going to be mostly located with those weapons and where ammo pickups are. You get to really pace out like the action and tension really effectively when you know exactly what they are up against, what they will have what they'll be using the whole time. You can because like the you always have that thing in your head of like, okay, I have this much ammo. I can spray and pray this much before I have to either swap to a new gun or find some ammo for this thing. Which that resource management is just a part of a lot of genres. But the fact that like you will spawn with one type of weapon that is almost non-existent for the rest of the level, so you have to be swapping. There's a lot of interesting game design choices with that because like level and encounter design are like my main things that I've looked into and enjoy. But there's also questionable decisions like vehicle controls. I was not a fan of. I hope they get better later in the series. The the entirety of the library mission, there's a lot of flaws here, but there's enough to love that I can, still give this hey, it's a good game rating despite all of that.
The library mission is like the one level in Halo 1 where everyone goes, "Oh, the library mission. I wonder how he's gonna handle that."
Yeah, and like the answer wound up being I handled it fine. It was just really tedious and annoying at first.
And I think you
Because like I
mentioned
can see the intention of it, but the execution was not the best.
and I think you mentioned that like a lot of Destiny missions are actually kind of structured like that.
Yeah, so especially when you get to the mission before, yeah, most of the library, because 343 Guilty Spark is the mission before, and that's where you meet the Guilty Spark, the little dude, and I'm like, oh, this feels familiar. And then I got to the library, and just the way the little dude would talk and float around, and sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go do the thing to open the door. You have to hold your ground while enemies come for X amount of time while I do it. I'm like, oh, this is just like 40% of everything I ever did playing Destiny. This is exactly that.
It's weird that we reused that level structure for a lot of that game.
It's very particular. So, Pig, do you want me to just like get into the nitty gritty of like what missions I liked, or going into any particular topic, or summarize the story? How are we doing this, Mr. Host?
I'm gonna leave the story for after we're done with the rest of the stuff. So go ahead and do your nitty gritty.
All right. So it's a game comprised of, I believe, 10 missions, which are effectively the levels, and there's a lot of really smart design and setup and pacing and all this, because just about all of them have a unique feel to them in a particular point. Pillar of Autumn is very much your like, hey, here's a tutorial, get used to fighting these guys, and a bit of a tone setter. It's something where like you are a very special boy, a special soldier shoot man with more toughness and skill and just more of a unstoppable powerhouse than everyone else around you, but the army you're in as a whole is kind of getting its ass beat. We're setting that tone strong. You're getting assaulted, you're getting boarded, you're on the run, limping away, and it also establishes the necessity of Cortana being with Chief, which explains why you spend so much of the game with her. Which Cortana, like, I knew that Cortana was Chief's like companion suit AI whatever for the franchise, and that made no sense to me to discover, oh, she was never intended to be a personal accompanying AI to anyone. She is the AI of a ship.
Yeah, she just so happens to be attached to Chief for the time being.
Yeah, because like the AIs also are essentially like hyper advanced hard drives that store all the relevant information for all the battles in coordination with the rest of Earth, I guess. Something along those lines. So if they're stored in like a singular file space, in the ship's computer so that there can't be copies. There's not multiple points of access. It's just if you transfer this file to another thing or place, that's where it is, and that's the only place, so that it's very hard for anyone to you don't want to access it to access it. And that's the whole excuse for you having your AI mother, sister, waifu. I describe her as such because I've been told about future stuff outside of Halo 1.
A lot of that comes from the books. It's more like implications in the later games. And I haven't read any of the books. I might read some of them, like per recommendation.
Yeah, Raven has also said that I would probably enjoy getting through at least the first book. So I'll consider it. I've been taking a break from audiobooks for a minute. But anyway, so you have a tone setter and tutorial level. You have Halo, which is more getting used to fighting in open areas and exploring. And here's your first taste of vehicle control. Feel that out. Here we're gonna let you see a couple more enemy types, get you used to the combat, navigating a larger map. It's solid, and also introducing the Halo. Then you have a more sneak around the dark and use a sniper mission. You have all right, go back and forth to kind of solve this plot puzzle and figure out this map level. Assault on the controller room, I believe that was more like just kill, kill, kill. 343 was the horror level. Library is the get good level. At least that's the intention. This is the shit's real now. You gotta keep up with what we're throwing at you. This is the like shit is real. Get good, but it's structured in such a way that it's mostly bullshit. For context, I played on heroic because I believe I heard that was like the difficulty that was the original like vision of the designers.
Oh, I was under the impression
but...
you played on normal.
Oh no, I played on heroic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I believe like most of these levels were designed with the as the heroic difficulty, and then they adjusted it to other things, like harder one for I think it's called legendary, and then the two less difficult ones. But I wanted the intended experience, so I played on heroic, and also I ain't no bitch. Like the beginning of the library was such just trial and error, throw yourself at the death wall until you get through. Just do it right until you get a shotgun. Just do it correctly. There's not much room for error. There's not much room to like even experiment much without dying over and over again. I'm like, okay, I see why this annoys the shit out of people. But eventually I figured it out, and I had to stop thinking about enemy placement the way I had been for like the entirety of like the first 6 missions. Because it used to be just enemies are going to be in a spot here and there, or they're going to come as like a wave out of a ship or from a specific door or something like that. With the library, I had to think of it. Well, my frame of reference that my brain usually goes to is something like a Souls game, like a Dark Souls or Bloodborne. That's the way I had to start thinking about it.
Where they're coming out of corners, they're coming out from under you.
Yeah, there's no other spot in the game, with like maybe a small handful of exceptions here and there, where enemy encounters are intended to be traps in and of themselves. It is, all right, you're going to walk this way and you're going to look to your left because it's the way that makes the most sense, but there's also a little cubby on the right where there will also be an enemy that you don't know about, and he's going to shoot you in the back. And as soon as I started thinking about it like that, the whole thing clicked. I'm like, all right, I know what this is, and I'm just going to keep going. Combining that shift in design and difficulty and the, like, just keep throwing yourself at it till you get it right aspect, alongside the like ridiculous amount of asset reuse and repetitive hallway design, like that is, it just feels like a slog of a level because you're going through the same like 4 hallways again and again and again and again. It feels like the same like few corner turns. Here's that one little cubby room to the side, and then you turn around that corner again. Here we go. There's the third one. Yeah, that's the library. It's not like an impossible thing. It's just, boy, that could have been better made. But I've heard that a lot of things had to be like restructured in development and wound up being rushed. I don't know. I've heard bits and pieces of development issue stories here and there. So I get why there's at least one level like that. And then after that, you have like your little not tone setter. Your little plot twist mission, where it's like, oh man, now you also have to fight the little robots, and you have to go against the dude who's been like on your side for like the last mission and a half. What a twist. You know, you're taking the fight to the Covenant more, because we gotta rescue Keys, this desperate rescue mission, and then the Maw, which is might be my favorite mission, because I really appreciate the book ending the game with the Pillar of Autumn start. Like I'm gonna like go through it again, but this time for realsies and blow it all up on the way out. These are all like in concept. These are all fine, and they are like in a good order for all the concepts of them. My issues come in like again the nitty gritty details. Like I don't like the way a lot of the vehicles feel to use. Or I guess not use. Like the shooting on like most of them is fine for the ones that you shoot. It is just like the movement around in vehicles. I think the what's the hover motorcycle thing? Is that the Ghost?
Yes, it's called the Ghost, I believe.
Okay, yeah, that one I'm cool with actually, for the most part. But the Warthog was not doing good. Someone who was watching me do the finale was like, "This looks like it's handling worse than when I played Halo 1." I don't. Is something going on? Because the Master Chief Collection was giving me all sorts of technical issues.
Yeah, yeah, you had like
It
audio
was a
issues
rough experience.
at first, didn't you?
Yeah, so yeah, let me pause design stuff and just complain about Master Chief Collection for a
Yeah,
minute.
yeah.
Yo, fuck the Master Chief Collection. That thing is dog shit. They should not charge money for that thing. I can, after fucking with like that for 20 or 30 minutes, I consider just uninstalling the Master Chief Collection and downloading an Xbox One emulator. First off, like it immediately pisses me off because nothing about this program will function until you sign into your Microsoft account. I don't care that you're playing single player games from a time before online play was a standard at all in any way. Fuck you, log in. Do your dailies. No, I'm here to play I'm here to play a game from like 2002 or something. Fuck off. I hate being forced to sign into shit for offline play.
Yeah.
Second, the Steam install isn't the real install. Then you have to go into the game and download from in-game the real game that you pick. But you pick them one game at a time. So I had to downloads inside of downloads. A little annoying.
You can pick to download one of each game. Halo 1, you can download Halo 1, Halo 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. Like individually
Reach.
within the download of the Master Chief Collection.
Yep.
It's very
And,
obtuse.
I started the game and it starts in the wrong graphics. It starts in the updated graphics, which look like shit.
Thankfully, you can just press a button and it'll swap. And then you can actually just swap in between them, like just by spamming the button, and it's pretty smooth.
Yeah, except for in cutscenes. So the entire like first 5 to 10 minutes, I forget how long the cutscene lasts. I'm like pausing the cutscene, trying to figure out how the fuck do I do this? How do I switch between graphics? Because you can't do that in the middle of cutscenes. So that was confusing as well. While I was trying to figure out why I can't hear anyone talk, because the audio mixing is dog shit. And the thing that's too quiet, at least for the first while of the game, it wasn't as bad after I got a few missions in. But at the very beginning, I couldn't hear the dialogue very well. It was too quiet compared to everything else. And if you go into the audio options, there's no audio slider for dialogue. There's no voice option. Except there's multiplayer voice option, because of course there is. That thing I don't want. But I can't turn up anyone speaking. I can't turn everything else down in comparison to how people speak. So I'm just like, well, good thing there's subtitles, because I would love to hear the performance, but I can't. But the audio levels got better over time. I don't know what was with the first handful of cutscenes where I could barely hear. But and then once I got into gameplay, I could fix the graphics to not look bad. And that is something that I actually messed with several times throughout the playthrough. Was I would just occasionally switch to the new graphics to see how bad they fucked it up. And every time, at least one person in the call was disappointed with what they were looking at.
The most egregious one is that the spooky level.
Yeah, because
like, all the atmosphere is just gone.
Yeah, the remastering staff was obsessed with making everything very, very clearly lit and changing the art direction of a lot of aspects.
It's utilizing, I believe, Reach assets.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's just pulled from Reach, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me because there's really not much to do to update a lot of these walls. They're very flat walls with brutalist architecture, and that kind of stands out when you have like your advanced sci-fi armor that you're walking around in, and the Covenant has these they're like these wacky alien lizard guys in fancy space armor. And then you just have like these like flat metal or concrete looking pillars and walls with hardly anything on them. And then I turn on the new graphics and they're like just shiny metal with random lines of light and sci-fi bullshit on it. It makes it look the most generic thing when the brutalism combined with tech is much more interesting aesthetically.
We gotta add
And then of course
panels
the
and
lighting,
lights.
like
Paneling and lights.
like there's a you only have so many inputs on a game designed for controller. So I played on a gamepad for my playthrough because I wanted the legit Halo 1 experience that people had in the 2000s on their controller. There's only so many buttons. One of them is for the flashlight. So the flashlight should matter, which means you need dark. It seems like the remaster crew did not want me to use the flashlight a single time ever because they want everything to be well lit and visible. Look at these assets that that we ruined. Look at them. There's also one or two funny visual glitches. There was that one like weird abyss where there was just like a little square of dark in the middle of the emptiness that we couldn't figure out what the fuck the deal was.
like
But for the most part,
like just in the
it
air, or
was fine.
or like in a wall.
Yeah, in the air. It was on the Silent Cartographer mission. I guess you weren't there during that
No, no,
that bit of my playthrough. You weren't there for hardly any of it, were you?
no, no. I unfortunately did not watch you play until like the very last segment of the game because I was either at work or at school.
Yeah. For context, for the listeners, I was playing this almost entirely in a Discord call with the homies. So I got and at least half the people in this server are big Halo fans. So there was a lot of like conversation and bonus information about the development of this game, how like the different ways in which the remastered graphics missed the point. The dev cycle, the fact that apparently everyone hates the team that took over after Bungie dipped. There's just a lot of chatter, but everyone knew when to shut up and let me experience the moment. It was a good time. But yeah, so to complete that point, the Master Chief Collection can suck my fucking balls, but Halo itself as a product, pretty solid overall. Outside of like things that are clearly rushed or things that are, just eh. I like the idea, but your execution needs work. Like you can see limiting factors in it of its time and of its like I guess time constraints. But enough about the issues. Let's talk about cool shit. Master Chief looks and sounds awesome, and Sergeant Johnson is a Chad.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna love Sergeant Johnson in 2 and 3.
I see more recommendations in my future then. We haven't, Pig, at this point, neither of us has done a direct follow-up recommend, I've just realized.
No, I was actually gonna save all of mine for next year.
Oh, this is year 2 content is like your sequel recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Because I've considered it, but I haven't gone through with it up to this point because I keep having new ideas of things to recommend.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Oh, I have to look forward to another set of like 3 or 4 Godzilla movies.
Another Halo, another cat book.
Another cat book. Oh God. Another couple of trauma movies. Oh, that'll be rough.
Nah,
But yeah,
for like non-Godzilla movies, I got like other stuff.
yeah, you are more the film buff, so I would assume that you have more variety in your film recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, now Sergeant Johnson is a noteworthy like amount of fun in every scene he appears in. It kind of makes you go, man, for as short a game this is, I wish there was more Sergeant Johnson in it. Yeah, Chief himself, he's got a really cool voice, and like that is some solidly designed sci-fi armor.
What do you get from his personality?
He's a very like classic stoic man to be looked up to. He is like he's not completely flat and emotionless. He will have emotional responses to things. So he's not just like just the flat like I guess what I'm struggling for the words.
Like what a person would assume what person would assume uncharitably of what Master Chief is.
Yeah, because like based on people being fans of it around me for years of my life, Master Chief is exactly what I expected him to be, which he's a cool guy, he's a tough guy, he fights aliens and doesn't afraid of anything. But he's not without depth. Is like the depth isn't explored deeply in this game because it's his first foray. We have to establish him in a story first. And you, the player, can are also busy having your own emotional reactions to things like keys, especially. That is something I was told to get in the Master Chief Collection because apparently it didn't exist in the first one. But there's this little like thing you can find in the room where like keys is fused into that flood thing.
Oh, the
Like,
terminals.
yeah, the terminal that shows you like what the mind melding process has been like for keys in his perspective in his head. And that was actually really, really well done. So that is like the one gold star that Master Chief Collection gets. Is that was pretty cool. That was really well done. Props to you. You know, you get a golf clap. That was good. And that will give you like the player more understanding and emotional reaction to that. You're not going to see a ton of that from Chief, but like there's little things throughout where you can tell like he has to like deal with these things as they come. And he's a man of duty, so he's not going to let it slow him down, but he's going to feel like the consequences of all the things that occur here.
It's very evident that all the Space Marines, like the regular people, like the regular soldiers, like look up to Master Chief, and he's very reassuring for them.
Yeah. Outside of him being taller than them.
Master Chief and the guys and the people like him, like the super soldiers, they're basically Space Marines from 40K. It's a
Oh
very
yeah.
close analogy.
Yeah, so I did want to bring up and make the comparison to 40K because there's I'm not the most well versed in like a huge range of sci-fi material, but I do really like sci-fi. So like I have a good grasp on things like Star Trek and 40K and things like that. I have not played the Mass Effect games. I've only just played the first Halo, but 40K is the one I'm the biggest fan into, which, in fairness, is half sci-fi, half fantasy. So it's not a strict thing. But one thing that I guess I have to shout out 40K for because 40K, fuck yeah, is it's the presentation is so different between Halo of like the setting and scale and power of everything because 40K is like one of the few like sci-fi franchises that really focuses on the presentation of the power and scale of everything they're doing to where it gives like the impression of holy shit, you are fucked if you come up against this in 40K, and every faction has a this like that. Just the power and scale of everything in that setting is presented so strongly to where like it feels like almost no other sci-fi like franchise could like win in a fight of resources between one and the other. Like if you were to Dragon Ball power scale these things, and then I've like seen resources and even like whole videos and shit and conversations between friends and stuff dedicated to like actually no, if you look at like the how the technology works and the feats of strength between this and that, Halo totally keeps up with the power scaling of 40K actually, and in some cases, like this Halo faction could totally like fucking stomp this 40K faction. Like these are the conclusions I've heard from people who actually really know both of these settings. I'm like, okay. You know what, Halo? I didn't know you had it like that. Good for you. Good for you. Because it's just not the focus on Halo's presentation, and I find that to be like an interesting thing because when I think of like the bit what I know of Halo from playing this game and like what I've seen of Mass Effect from like seeing some people play parts of that game and just the way it's talked about and the way it was presented in its ads and stuff. It doesn't seem like they want to show off like how huge like the ships are and how destructive the weapons are so much as they just want to show you, well, here's how cool the ship's design is because you know when we drew the picture it looked really cool. I'm like, yeah, but show me how intimidating that would be to see enter low orbit just looking up and seeing this Goliath ship like that. That aspect is really interesting to me, at least in comparing different settings because like it makes me underestimate other settings that could totally hang with stuff like 40K. But going back to it, like, yeah, I can totally see Master Chief. Like, he is a contender in the like circle of sci-fi super soldiers. He's a really cool, strong guy.
Another aspect about Chief is that there's a lot of humor like between him and Cortana. A lot of one-liners in between them. A lot of bits of banter in between them.
Yeah, it's very like sometimes the dialogue will just become here's a cool action movie scene, and I'm down with it because like as dire as the stakes are and like as big as the consequences of the actions taken are, like this is not a game that wants to be like dour and depressing. It doesn't want to be grimdark. It still wants to give you an action movie hero experience. Quips and one-liners included, and that's fun.
Before we dive into like the actual story of the game, what are your thoughts on the Covenant?
The Covenant are better than the Flood. I think I think that's a point that really needs to be made. Is that like the first half of the game is better than the second half of the game
Yeah,
because when you're fighting the Covenant, like it is very like classic, good designed shooter fun because I can see like the different colors and silhouettes of my enemies clearly and deal with them accordingly with the weapons available to me. And I deal with every flood the same way because it's just, hey, the shotgun is the gun to use here, unless it's the tiny little dudes, in which case something that sprays. That's it. That's how I fight everything in the flood, and it's like boring. Like the horror vibes in their introduction, solidly done. Actually fighting them, just a slog. It feels like I'm playing a zombie game in the wrong way, to the point of it almost being dull. The Covenant, awesome. They're loaded with personality, and that's really cool. They have unique designs for the different classes of enemy. They have funny little voice lines, multiple bright colors. Some of them get like shields for you to deal with. A solid enemy. I wish the game told me anything about them and why we're fighting. And our friend Funshine told me, oh, well, the premise of the war was something briefly gone over in the game's manual because manuals used to exist.
manuals.
I miss game manuals so much.
Well, they're like super thick with a lot of pages that explain the game's lore, all the
Oh, man.
controls, how to play them.
Like you get like three different character biographies on one page and then three more on the next.
There was like concept art in them sometimes. Like
Oh, it's so good.
10 pages in the back labeled notes. I don't know what notes you would write in them, but they're there.
Oh man, bring back game manuals. Like all devs, please. We miss them so much.
No, all games are digital now.
Ah,
Your game manual,
man.
your game manual has been replaced by YouTuber.
Oh man. The reason like we'll be talking about like Kingdom Hearts and someone will forget exactly how old like Sora or Riku are and I can instantly tell them because the Kingdom Hearts 1 game manual told me exactly how old they were.
Yeah. The Covenant. You got your little Scrunko Grunt, who's
I
got
love them.
his little pistol.
Yep.
You got I actually for Jackal. They're called Jackals. The one with the shields and sometimes snipers.
Yeah. You have the Wart.
Yeah,
I believe they're
actually,
called Elite, but
elites.
they're
Yeah,
the Wart.
yeah. They're the elite. That they go wart.
I love Wart.
I love those fucking space dinosaurs. They're such a good design.
Yeah, they do Wart, and sometimes they go. "Ah!"
They got their laser
pretty
guns.
good.
They got their sword.
They got needlers sometimes. Yeah, that sword's kind of bullshit, but I'm told in later games you get to use one too, so I guess it's fine.
You get to use one in two, and it's very good. You get to do some. You
Oh,
get to do some funny movement stuff with it in two.
oh, that's neat. Um,
There's also I
the
forget. There's the big guy who's like a massive worm's controlling armor, and you shoot him in the back.
oh yeah, that guy. He's like kind of an. It's weird. Like depending on the setup, if you're just fighting one or two of them, they're mostly fine to deal with. It's just a. Are you good at strafe jumping? Just that it becomes like a cartoon bullfight where you just olay and let them go past, and then you shoot them, and then they do it again, and you keep shooting them, and then they die.
Every game gotta have guy you hit in the back.
Yeah, like I look at that guy, and like part of my brain goes, "Yo, that's a grappler character right there.
Yeah,
That guy's got 720s."
yeah. They do their big running shoulder tackle. Sometimes they have like a big like grenade launcher gun.
Yeah. Oh man, you just made me think of the Flood guys that have rocket launchers for some reason,
Oh, I
and
think
I got upset.
those are the worst. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
fuck those guys.
like the flood. Okay, so it's just like either soldiers or covenant enemies that have like the flood texture on top of them, and they're
Yeah.
functionally they're zombies, and some of them have guns like pistols, machine guns, lasers, and the occasional rocket launcher.
Hmm.
I do not believe you'll encounter any flood piloting tanks in this game.
No. Well, speaking of tanks, shoutouts to the tank I got to drive in that one level. That was cool.
Oh yeah, the Scorpion tank, I believe it's called.
Yeah, I believe it is called the Scorpion tank.
It's a
Parts of that level are very stupid. There's like one where I have to pop out of a cave, and there's a big rock to hide behind right in front of you, and it's a big field just loaded with dudes that will rock your shit. It is not fun to deal with because of the way the tank controls and moves. It's so tough to like get through that without your tank exploding. But it was a level clearly designed to be for vehicle traversal, and then you have to go through it backwards in a very like DMC4 Dante way. Later on, stealing other like enemy vehicles and shit. Like, oh right, I almost forgot in the like weird janky like oh, we're still figuring it out because it's our first game in this series kind of deals. Some of these checkpoints are ass.
yeah. Like the
There was
final
one where I was like had to cross a bridge, but because of like where I got the checkpoint, I happened to be really low health. I had like one pip, and that
checkpoints
made
do
it
not
nearly impossible to get across the bridge at all. It was
the
so.
the bit I got to watch was the final like warthog run.
Yeah.
That every time you died, and one time you died at the very end, you had to do the entire drive again.
Yeah, that was the first attempt. Was I got to the very end, but there were like 8 dudes shooting at my back after I got out of the warthog, and I couldn't like dodge them all, so I just died because there was just a ton of dudes shooting at me, and what was I supposed to do? And then like 2 attempts later, when I got there again, there wasn't that many guys shooting at me. I don't know why. I can't explain that. But enemy spawns are not consistent across checkpoints. Like, it seems to be somewhat randomized. I don't know exactly how it works, but it doesn't feel like I'm walking into the exact same encounter with the enemies behaving exactly the same every time I reload a checkpoint. So I'm not exactly sure how it works. Like, the two worst for me was that bridge I mentioned where I just had to throw myself at it and try to do it really, really correct, like 40 times until I got across the bridge. And then another one in that same level, like 20 minutes later, where, again, I had like 1 or 2 pips of health. Didn't matter that I had armor. Like, that was going to go. Where my only strategy to actually get past that part was just to say, fuck it, like throw one grenade and start running and shooting a bit, just to try and hold guys off of killing me instantly, long enough for me to go and steal the whatever the fuck their flying vehicle is. I don't know what it's called, but it also, I don't like flying it, but apparently like if you do it that way, that's like the speedrun tech, because then you get to skip a chunk of the level. And I'm like, well, this is my only option to not die in 2 seconds, so I guess I'm skipping part of this level.
That's one of those things that's like, that's kind of intentional.
A little bit like, yeah, it wouldn't be like just within reach like that before like the enemy guy gets into it, if a designer didn't think, yeah, they might be able to reach this, but if so, and they think to do it and they pull it off, that's their reward, is that they will let them do it. Again, there's a couple things where I'm like, yeah, they're either out of time or out of budget or both. They couldn't give this another pass through. Like, they just had to ship it as it was, or they had to like stretch. Like, it felt like they really wanted it to be like 10 missions specifically, which is why like after the betrayal of the guilty spark, do the level you just did backwards, so you can go and blow up the halo or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, but we were talking about the flood though.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think cause like functionally they're just zombies, and I think the intention is to just have them be like this mass that you have to fend off.
yeah, it is very like horror game themed, and it's supposed to be something like the Tyranids in 40K, to draw another comparison. It is supposed to be like this ever spreading like hungry force that can't be satiated, and if it's allowed to spread without something that can kill it all at once, or at least contain it, then it's all over for everyone. Like, that feels like the intention.
Yeah, definitely. Were you aware of the flood before playing the game?
I've had a lot of Halo lore explained to me before, but haven't really internalized it just because I haven't experienced Halo myself. So I'm sure I've heard of what the Flood were, like their exact nature before somewhere, but like I forgot. So like I didn't go in knowing exactly what like what fighting the Flood would be like, but as soon as I got there, I'm like, yeah, this fits.
Yeah, because on my first go around, I had no idea about the flood.
Okay.
I may have heard of it prior, and if I had, I had forgotten it. But it was a pretty big surprise for me. Like, oh hey, there's like space zombies in here. I didn't expect a third faction that
Yeah.
not only I am fighting, but the Covenant is also fighting.
Yeah, and you get little hints in the that one really well done scary level where you even see like the body of an elite next to like a soldier man on top of a thing, which gives you the vibe that these two like set aside their differences to like be shooting back to back against this third more dangerous force that like poses danger to them both.
Yeah.
Like there's cool shit like that, like narratively and like in theory, the flood works super well. It's just I don't like them in a gameplay aspect at all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because like this is supposed to be like the horror level, the level where they're introduced, and then fighting them is nothing. It's the easiest thing. It's the easiest level in the game up to that point, aside from maybe the intro. Because they also immediately give you the shotgun, and then you have the assault rifle and shotgun combo, which is just the correct offense against the flood. And I'm like, oh well, this is nothing now. And then the library happened, and I'm like, okay, now I see what the challenge is. It's changed the entirety of encounter design to be like way more intense and kind of bullshit. But yeah, the flood narratively are awesome, but it felt like I was given so much more information about the flood and the Halo than I was given about the Covenant when they are supposed to be like the enemy that humanity's been fighting for like quite some time now in a war that I know nothing about as a first time player without a manual. So like it feels like the flood kind of got to steal the show from the Covenant a bit too much for my liking because the Covenant are better designed enemies that are more fun to fight and could potentially be just as interesting as the Flood, but the Flood get all the like the big plot focus. When you played, what did you think of like the Halo itself as like a device and plot point?
I like gonna save that topic while we're like in the middle of the story, in
Ooh.
the middle of
Ah,
story
okay.
discussion, and let's just go ahead and start talking about the story. So,
All right.
first, a bit of like backstory to Halo One.
Okay.
So, humanity was attacked by the Covenant in the year 2025, and the war has been waging until the events of Halo 1, which is in 2552. Covenant are a collection of
Ooh,
aliens
that's some
united.
time.
They're a collection of aliens united under a religious belief that the race of gods lift the galaxy on a great journey of transcendence, and humanity's destruction is the final will of that their gods left behind. In actuality, their gods are the Forerunners, which you learn about in this game, who designed the Halo to wipe out all life in order to starve the Flood.
Okay. So it is just like the ancient technology is like misinterpreted to be gods, and we just look at it and go, "Oh, that's some ancient tech," and that's it. That's the whole disagreement. And what do we know? What caused the Covenant to go? Yo, fuck humans in particular. That's what the gods wanted.
A lot more of that is explored in Halo 2, but
Okay.
basically it's jihad. It's their holy war. They must wipe out humanity.
Lisan al Gaib. Oh man.
So yeah, you start the game on the Pillar of Autumn, which is the name of the ship.
Yeah.
You get attacked by Covenant. You barely escape and you land on the Halo, which is this gigantic like space installation, like just a giant space station in the shape of a ring. On the inside of the ring is like a biosphere or like
Yeah, like life supporting environments, which is really weird considering the Halo's purpose, because the Halo's purpose is to one, contain the flood, two, eliminate all life in the galaxy. So why is the Halo built to support a bunch of life
now. There's only
when the whole point is to either eliminate or starve a form of life.
Now there's water, there's like grass and trees and rocks and stuff, but there's no like animals at all.
Yeah, it looks like it's an installation that's meant for like you to just intentionally bring over various species of animals and then like have some humans move in too to like keep their populations in check and start farming and shit. Like it feels like this was supposed to be like a really cool space colony from the way it's built, but then you learn what it's for and you're like, why did okay, this thing is like run and maintained by these automaton robots with their own like practically sentient AIs installed. So like you don't need people here. You don't need any living thing here. Why did you make it like this?
Maybe that wasn't the original intention for the Halo. Maybe it was converted into a weapon afterwards in its creation.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a particular thing. It makes for really strong visuals. Like the skybox on the first couple levels where you can just like look in a direction and see the Halo curving up into itself. It's really cool. I like it a lot. It's just an odd thing to think about, especially considering, oh yeah, this like cool ring of life out there is this is the weapon to kill it all. Oh, I see.
But we don't learn that until like halfway through the game.
Yeah.
The Pillar of Autumn crashes. You and a couple of other Marines, alongside Cortana inside your helmet, crash land elsewhere. Mission is to get back onto the Covenant ship where they got your Captain Keyes hostage. You rescue him.
Yep.
You do some action movie stuff. You get out.
Yep.
You do the 343 Guilty
The
Spark
silent
level.
cartographer. Yeah, like the Covenant are looking for secrets in Halo, and you're just like, hey, there's secrets in Halo. We gotta either eliminate the Covenant before they discover any cool tech, or we gotta get it for ourselves and use it against them. Figure out what's what.
As it turns out, there's this flood thing in there. Oh no, this is bad.
It's very bad.
We're introduced to the 343 Guilty Spark flying orb robot. We go through the library. All throughout that level, 343 Guilty Spark is talking about like, why'd you bring ineffective weapons to fight the flood? What's up,
Despite
man?
them being the most effective weapons against the flood in the game.
He's
The assault rifle and shotgun combo is the combo to fight the flood.
Yeah,
What do you mean these human projectile weapons are ineffective? What you got that's better?
Yeah.
Your lasers suck ass.
Translating that into the gameplay isn't done very well. But the intention is like,
Yeah.
this isn't gonna do well against the flood in a more broader sense.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you can kill a bunch of flood, but like eventually they will overrun you.
Yeah. Speaking of the projectile weapons, shout out to the one guy on the dev team who wouldn't stop buffing the Deagle.
Yeah. Okay. So a bit of an aside, but the story goes that one guy in the dev team kept going in and changing the Desert Eagle to make it a one-shot headshot.
Yeah, he wanted it to be like the cool, strong gun in the game, and other people were like, no, we did not agree to this. And they would put it back. And he would just go in and secretly buff it again.
I don't know.
He couldn't be stopped.
I don't know if this story is true or not, but it's been told so many times over the course of so many years that it may as well be the truth.
It's my headcanon, at least.
But yeah, we actually before we meet 343 Guilty Spark, we first leave Cortana in like the main computer of Halo to browse and all that. And while
get some control, figure some stuff out, and then the Dinklebot comes to tell us the wizard came from the moon.
Yeah, well, while we're like going through the library, 343 Guilty Sparks talk is like he never says anything directly, but he's definitely like implying things about like the reality of the situation. Like we need to contain the flood. We need to go get the thing. You Reclaimer must go do the thing. And he calls you Reclaimer.
Yeah, and he talks as if like you've done this before. Like his AI seems to just be under the assumption that whoever shows up and starts helping out must be the guy. I've talked to the guy before, despite the fact that Master Chief presumably doesn't look anything like the guy he's thinking of. But you're helping me out, you're doing the thing, you gotta be him, right? He's talking like we've done this before.
So we get to the end, we get back to the main computer where Cortana is, and it's revealed that Halo is a weapon. And 343 Guilty Sparks were like, oh, yeah, duh, that's why we're here. We got
kill everything.
We gotta activate this installation so it could connect to the other Halos and wipe out all life in the universe. Come on, man, keep up. That's the only way to contain the flood. So we learned a lot of information there. First of all, Halo is a gigantic weapon that's gonna wipe out the entire all life in the universe. Second of all, there's multiple Halo rings. This thing you're on
And like
that you've only just discovered, like this game. Oh, there's multiple of them.
apparently across the galaxy, and like it is another thing that like is interesting for me to think about in a like establishing the setting way, because the year is like, I think you said 2552, right?
Yes.
uh so like this is clearly hundreds of years past where we are in modern day, but you know it is within that time we've just must have discovered a form of faster than light travel
Yeah.
and started exploring the greater known galaxy.
Yeah. Interstellar travel.
So
We can make super soldiers. We're fighting aliens.
yes, and in the time that we've been exploring the known galaxy, we've never come across these rings. Like the fact is, like our first discovery of them is really cool.
And technically, the Covenant discovered them first. We just happened to also find them while we were fighting the Covenant.
It feels like it. I can't remember like how strong of a trope it was in sci-fi, like spacefaring sci-fi before that. But there's been this weird trend of like, and I guess Mass Effect also like was one of like the big popularizers of it. Like, oh yeah, humanity got to the sci-fi level of technology because we found the ancient technology left behind by the great super smart ones that came before, and then they also got some of their stuff from the greater super smart ones that came before. And nothing, there's no very little direct innovation. It's always rediscovery of what was left behind by someone else.
Yeah.
It's a weird trend in sci-fi that I'm not a particularly big fan of, but I'm fine with how it's implemented in Halo. One, because it was less generic at the time, but two, because it just feels like more interestingly done in this. I enjoy the very distinct difference. But also, it doesn't imply that humanity, maybe they did in the setting, I don't know, because I'm not given a whole lot of info about the setting in Halo 1, but I wasn't receiving any like implications that I was aware of that humanity got to this point by 2552, like with help from like Forerunner tech. Like
No.
from what you've told me, the Covenant very explicitly know about the Forerunners and have been like trying to use some of their shit.
I believe it's implied that this Halo ring is the first like Forerunner tech that was discovered.
Yeah, like this is like humanity's first discovery of the fact that Forerunners were a thing, and that's cool. I like that we didn't have the assistance getting to this point, but now we see like the first contact with that whole concept, and like from Halo 1 onward is like the implications and fallout of that discovery.
So after we learn all this, we decide we need to blow this thing up. Let's go back to the pillar bottom that's crashed over there and use that self-destruct sequence to blow this whole thing up.
Yeah.
So
Let's get a cool Warthog segment while we're at it.
So a couple of action missions, really cool action sequences later. At the start of the final level, there's a nice little joke where Master Chief is like the alien flying motorcycle he's on is like about to crash at the like opening of the level. Like, Chief, you're gonna crash. You're not gonna make it. I got it. It's fine. Crash. You did that on purpose, didn't you? Doesn't respond. I think that might be my favorite joke of the whole game.
Yeah, I do like that interaction. Also, I was shown the YouTube video of the secret legendary ending of the game, where before the explosion, Sergeant Johnson just hugs it out with an elite because they realize that, oh, we ain't stopping that from happening. And then the elite like moves his hand down to cup a feel of Johnson's ass.
What? I've never seen this.
Oh, I will find it and link it to you. You could show a clip of it in the podcast video.
Yeah, I'll put it right here.
Come here, you mother. Oh, this is it, baby. Hold me.
They're right there next to the explosion.
This is it, baby. Hold me. Bro got a handful of that.
I've never seen that.
Well, now you have, and
Yeah.
Let's see, them adding stuff like that is how you know, like, yeah, there's some heavy stuff here, but this is not a like make you depressed game. This is no, this is like fun times. This is cool. War is cool guys and explosions and shit.
War is cool guys, explosions, and one-liners.
It's true. It's damn true.
One little quirk about that final level is that you can see the Pillar of Autumn. You know, like, what it looks like from the outside. While you're in your Warthog level, it's implied that you're like driving through the entire length of the ship, and there's this big open section where the sergeant is flying his helicopter thing, his VTOL. It's like crashing, and you don't see exactly where it crashes. Where's that open section on the ship?
Who can say?
So yeah, the final segment of the final level is an escape the explosion sequence, which many games have. Resident Evil, this, DMC1, a couple others I can't think of right off the top of my head right now.
Oh man, the DMC one is so ass. Oh, you know a game that has one of those, not at the actual ending. You'll get when you eventually get to Kingdom Hearts 2, you'll get to play one of those.
Oh, nice.
Actually, no, wait. There's a couple of those.
In 2?
You'll get there. In 2.
Nice.
Sort of. But yeah, before the like the big escape sequence, you do get your final boss sequence, and like while like all the other stuff with 343 made me think, okay, I know what the ghost and mission structure of Destiny came from. It's just them doing this again. The final boss against him just made me think, I know where that Portal final boss came from.
Yeah. So at the end, we finally blow up the Halo ring.
Mm-hmm.
And really, like, it's a rather simple story, simple and short, really. And the main points from it are from like the end of the library mission and a bit ahead of that, being what we learned about Halo and the implications for what would happen next. And to our knowledge, we've blown up one, but we know that there are others, and maybe the Covenant would want to look for them. And it perfectly sets up the conflict for the sequel and eventually the third game.
Right, because if there's more Halo rings out there, there's still like the chance that tons of life in the galaxy can get wiped out. The Covenant might still be looking for them. There might be other chunks of Flood being contained on those other rings that the Covenant might accidentally release again. Like, there's all kinds of threat with these rings existing.
And
so
we're not exactly told what the Covenant's reaction to the Flood was. Like, we know the reaction of the immediate forces that were there, but we don't know what the higher-ups of the Covenant want or know about the Flood.
Right, because we're not told anything about any of the higher-ups of the Covenant in this. We have no idea what their structure as a society is supposed to be like at this point. I do like the part where people like break the camera to where in that one shot at the end, Master Chief solemnly takes off his helmet to reveal his backup emergency helmet.
Okay. So a little bit about Master Chief. So Master Chief is his rank. He is a Master Chief Petty Officer. But the game treats it like his name.
Yeah, he's the Master Chief, and since there's no other, anyone can, around, because they're all in the military, can just very naturally refer to him as Master Chief.
Or just Chief.
Because that's how military people talk. It's like, yes, Captain, yes, Master Chief, etc. I like that his real legal government name is John Halo.
All we know is that it's John. I don't think we're given a last name, but I forget the terminology, but he is John 117. Now, viewer, you may have heard a couple of words, and they might have like activated something in you, maybe awoken a memory. John 117
of being dragged to a building every Sunday.
John 117, which I just said earlier. Halo, the name of the game, name of the installation. Covenant. You might have heard that.
Flood.
The Flood. I don't believe Pillar of Autumn is itself a religious reference. Is it entirely Halo, or is it also in the Bible?
Is this a Bible, or is this a Halo?
No, it's just Halo.
Okay. It is a cool ship name though.
In the later games, there's gonna be Truth and Reconciliation. Ark of the Covenant, various
Oh.
other like religious reference. Halo is secretly a Bible game.
Yeah, that's right. The authors decided that you, the player, are a Protestant Christian now.
Now, I am
Yeah?
looking up the biblical verse of John 1:17.
Yes, please read it for the class.
So,
All of us in Sunday school would love to hear it.
So most people believe that it is a reference to John chapter 1, verse 17. I believe this is John 2, which states, "For the law was given through Moses, grace and truth came through Jesus Christ." Which honestly doesn't really like say much about like if that's like anything important to Halo at like within Halo, because it's not saying that Master Chief is Jesus. At least I don't think it does.
Yeah, because John is already a biblical character.
Mm-hmm.
That is
But
John 1:17, right?
John 1:17. There is so much like biblical reference and like biblical. It pulls a lot from the Bible.
Yes.
You are fighting a flood which is going to wipe out all life. Like the Halo could be like your parallel to like an angel, like coming down and turning everything into salt, like Sodom and Gomorrah.
There's a lot. I assume that over the course of the series, at least the first 3 or so, they keep up with all the Bible stuff.
Yes.
I believe it's after the first few, they change studios to people who are apparently much worse at making Halo games.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much they keep up the religion theme.
Reach didn't have much, and ODST, I would have to play a game to see if there's anything in there. But after it swapped to the 343 company, it just completely dropped any like biblical reference or notion at all.
Oh, that's lame. Man, people only think Christianity's lame because there's not enough cool media using elements of it to make rad enemies out of.
That's probably the fault of like evangelical Christians of the late 20th century, 80s and 90s. They're like, no, you can't depict Christianity in any way. It's negative. No, don't do it.
Yeah, well, media is doing that in a different way nowadays. It's always Christianity bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like like
vampires.
Netflix DMC and all that.
Vampires are afraid of right angles, not the cross.
Yeah. Oh no, that door frame is entirely square. I can't go in that house now.
Well, that's why he needs to be invited.
Yeah, that'll negate the right angles. Is if I say, "Come on in." Fucking thank you, Netflix, Castlevania.
Halo does it in a subtle way where it's like if you're not looking for it, you're not gonna find it. But if you know like certain terms and words and verses and all that, like if you know things and you're like decently studied, you're like, hey, is that thing? That might be that thing.
Shout outs to the SMT and Persona games for just having a bunch of designs inspired by every religion they could find a source on.
All of them.
Yeah, all of them.
Every
One of my
religion,
favorite
every
personas
myth.
that I used to beat 3 is Satan.
I beat SMT Nocturne with Thor, and
I started that one, by the way.
oh nice.
Yeah, I just beat Thor's ass before my last save point.
Oh nice, you're a decent way through.
Yeah, I think more weird like fantasy and sci-fi things should just grab Bible elements because there's some really metal shit going on in the Bible if you actually read it proper.
So far in the podcast, it's been Halo and Lane, where we've been scratching a little bit of the Bible.
Oh god. You're not like just doing a setup right now so that in 3 months you can be like, okay, Para, I recommend you these books of the Bible.
I wouldn't do multiple, I would do like one. Okay, Para, next month you're gonna read Book of Job.
Why Job?
It's the most controversial biblical text.
Do you think God was in the right for doing that to him?
God, this is a whole other conversation.
Tune in for dude, get into Bible school.
Dude, Bible study.
Dude, get in the sermon.
So within the first game, it's mostly a handful of references. Flood, Halo. I don't believe the referring to him as John 1:17 is in any of the games. I believe that's like in the books. Maybe there's some text in games that have the 1:17 in there.
If only we had the manual.
If only we had the manual. Yeah, within
Uh.
Halo 1, there is not a lot of biblical reference, but there is some there, and it will become more apparent and more like in your face, and particularly in 2.
In 2, you say?
Mhm.
Uh,
Now, Para, are there any like anything you want to say about Halo before we do our outro?
well, I did want to ask because, Halo, as I understand it, has a very strong 1, 2, 3 trilogy to it.
Yes.
Is 3 one of those games where you can finish playing Halo 3 and then just never play a Halo game again and
Yes.
just feel kind of
Yes.
satisfied?
Yes. You
Okay.
you'll play Halo 3 and you'll be like, wow, what a great story, what a great ending, wow.
Well, I can't believe they never made another Halo game.
It's one of those where like it concludes so well where you're like, you don't gotta do no more. This is the perfect trilogy, and I'm already saying that right now after you've just finished Halo 1. Halo 1, 2, and 3 are a perfect trilogy in my eyes.
Really? Despite all the flaws of Halo 1, you're gonna say perfect trilogy.
Yeah, perfect with its flaws. That's the curves. If Halo 1, 2, and 3 were a woman, Halo 1 is the butt.
But hey, depending on who you ask, like the butt might be the most important part. That's quite a claim.
Halo 1 is the bottom half, the legs and the butt.
Okay.
There's a couple of stretch marks on there, but it has some fine curves. It feels nice to touch, very firm.
Firm. Nice. All right, got a little bit of jiggle to it, but not too much.
Wait until the next Halo podcast where I describe Halo 2 as a different part of a woman's body.
Yeah, just Pig. I'm hearing you out and all, but I still don't see how this is the back of the knee of Halo. All right, so let me think for a moment if there was any final thoughts I had on Halo Combat Evolved. By the way, that is a strong subtitle to anything is Combat Evolved.
100%.
I didn't see any evolution of combat whatsoever, but it's still such a cool name. I don't care.
Well, the combat is already evolved. You're fighting aliens, and you're a big, tall spaceman.
One last thing that is worth mentioning is that we must once again bring up your friend and mine, Sergeant Johnson. You see, at the end of the game, we are Cortana and Chief are the only ones in the little escape ship that escapes the explosion of the Halo. And just so you know that there wasn't a few other ships shooting off, Chief asks and Cortana confirms. By all means of observation we have, it seems it's just us. We're the only ones that made it out.
Yeah,
but I know that Sergeant Johnson is in more games.
Yeah, because the last time we saw Sergeant Johnson, he was crashing within the vicinity of the Autumn.
Yeah, or getting his ass felt up by an elite. And I enjoy this because, as I'm told, if anyone ever asks, how the fuck did you get off the Halo? The answer is, shut the fuck up.
I actually forget how he escapes.
I think he just tells people it's classified and never elaborates. And that was a very fun thing to learn. I enjoy that a lot. But yeah, Halo, a fine, perfectly solid recommend. Good on you, Pig. I did enjoy my time in spite of the issues that came with it.
And the issues were not because of the game in and of itself. It was because of the vessel in which you played it through.
Yeah, that's where a lot of it came from.
Did you know that's also 343's fault?
As all problems in this franchise are. I assume that some blame goes to Microsoft, but primarily 343 is the root of all evil.
I mean, Microsoft let it happen.
It's true.